Circus Part 2.
A magical circus scene, where every show begins in the dark of night. Colorful lights, music tunes, and crowd of figures dancing in the air. At the center of the circus is a grand dome, where the magic of the games radiates. An expert sorcerer, shooting flames from his bright eyes, demonstrates his skills. Beside him, a clown dressed in colorful clothes is busy making people laugh, while he is performing artistry on a unicycle. Another spectacular sight is in the air, as aerialists catch and release each other from the heights of the dome. Each time, there was a roar of applause, as the entire crowd held its breath. The most interesting part of the circus is the magician. The magician takes the stage with his veiled secrets, and in a few moments makes the impossible possible. Sometimes he makes a dove disappear, sometimes a beautiful girl is suspended in the air. The magic of the circus comes alive every night in the form of lights, music, and artistry, where every spectator comes to live a dream. After the darkness of the night, there is a mysterious silence. As the clock strikes 12, the circus arena is flooded with lights. Huge round domes and glittering tents attract people from afar. The entrance to the circus is lined with talismanic colored arches, and as people enter, a magical world unfolds before them. The special thing about this circus is that there is no ordinary day. Every night, some new amazing game is offered. Artists dressed in colorful clothes, wearing shiny masks, look like a dream. Colorful flags fluttering in the air and the loud sounds of the band create an atmosphere of excitement. Spectators take their seats in the main tent. The light gradually dims, and suddenly a loud noise is heard. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready to step into this magical world. Then there is an explosion, and an expert diffuser appears in a circle of fire in the center of the dome. He plays the game of throwing flames very skillfully. Flames dance between his fingers as if they were alive. Sometimes he whirls these flames in the air, and sometimes he shows them by making a glowing circle around his body. The spectators are very happy and start clapping. The next number is the clown, who has a red nose and is dressed in strange clothes. He makes people laugh by riding a unicycle, sometimes falling and sometimes cycling on one leg. His actions are so funny that the audience bursts into laughter. Suddenly, there is a look towards the stage, where two aerialists are seen hanging on a rope. They both dance in the air without any safety net, catching and releasing each other from the height of the dome, sometimes jumping and sometimes performing acrobatics in the air. Every time they successfully catch each other, the audience holds their breath and claps. Then the most famous circus character, the magician, takes the stage. He has a mysterious smile on his face, and a black wand in his hands. He twirls the stick slightly, and in the blink of an eye a white dove appears. The magician then tosses the pigeon into the air, and the pigeon turns into a glowing balloon. The spectators are shocked, they cannot believe that all this is happening before their eyes. Suddenly, the magician brings a big box on stage and locks a girl in it. Seconds later, he opens the box and the girl is gone. People are shocked and attention shifts to the top of the stage, where the girl appears suspended in the air, as if some magical force is lifting her. At the end of the circus, all the performers come on stage and say goodbye to the audience. Colorful confetti scatters into the air, and as the lights dim, people's memories of the circus are forever etched in their hearts. The story ends at the magical moment when the last show of the circus is ending, and the spectators are in their seats. As the magician's performance and the acrobat's amazing feats are over, a mesmerizing silence falls over the entire circus. The lights flash for the last time, and then suddenly, all the lights go out. Then, a soft and dreamy music reverberates through the air, and all the performers return to the stage. They have smiles on their faces, and they bow slowly to say goodbye to the spectators. Pieces of colorful confetti begin to fall from the sky, like raining dreams. Spectators are amazed to see these pieces of paper scattering in the air. The last scene of the circus is something like the magician standing in the middle of the stage wrapped in his black cloak. He swings his wand in the air once more, and as the wand hits the ground, the entire circus is plunged into darkness in an instant. Spectators are blindfolded, and when they try to look again, the entire circus arena is empty. No tent, no performers, and no lights. People are startled and confused, as if they have just woken up from a magical dream. They look at each other, wondering if it all really happened or just a dream. But they have smiles on their faces and incredible memories in their hearts, which stay with them forever. That is the beauty of the circus, a magic that happens only for a moment but leaves an impression forever is. After the mysterious end of the circus, the spectators start to leave the arena. They feel a strange lightness and dreaminess in their feet. Everyone seems to be lost in their own thoughts, remembering the glitz and glamour of the circus. But as people move towards their homes, they notice that something has changed. A child, who had been watching the magician in wonder at the circus, returns home and stands in front of the mirror and waves his hands magically, as if he too wants to perform some magic. He can't believe that he has made a small paper dove like a magician, which starts flying in the air. He exclaims, "Is this really happening?" Another man, amazed by the aerialist's stunts, looks up at the high branches of a tree in his yard and thinks, "Can I do that, too?" This thought of his gives him the courage to overcome his fear, and he tries to climb the tree. Meanwhile, in a corner of the city, the magician, who was part of the circus, is walking along an old and deserted road with his equipment. He has a mysterious smile on his face. He knows that the magic of the circus is not limited to that arena. Now this magic has entered the lives of all those who were a part of this spectacle. The circus is over, but its influence lives on. A girl, who watched aerial stunts in the circus, now feels free. She starts dreaming that one day she too will fly in the skies. Desire has now replaced fear in his heart. She starts working hard to fulfill her dreams. It is the effect of the circus that changes the normal routine of life, instills magic in people's hearts, and makes them aspire to do something extraordinary beyond the ordinary. Circus artists are also preparing for their next journey. Magicians, clowns, aviators, and jugglers head to a new location, ready to unleash yet another circus magic. But this time something will be different because they know that the circus is not just a spectacle, but a magic that awakens dreams in the hearts of people. Every night when the townspeople sleep, they dream of the circus. A dream filled with colorful lights, whimsical tricks, and magic that makes the impossible possible. And this dream fills their lives with new colors every day. The magician's secret was deeper and more mysterious than the magical atmosphere of the circus. His power and skill was not limited to entertaining the audience, but behind it lay a centuries-old story. Behind every trick of the magician in the circus lay a wonderful secret, known only to him. He was not just an ordinary artist, but the heir to an ancient magic that had been passed down in his family for generations. This magic of his was far beyond ordinary human knowledge and logic, and it was not just a spectacle, but reality. Centuries ago, his family had found a rare magical book, containing some talismans and spells that could change the world. After acquiring the book, the family members began to live their lives hidden from the world, so as not to misuse the magic's power. But in every generation a magician was chosen, who concealed this magic in harmless games like the circus, so that no one could know its true power. This was the reason why everything the magician did was truly magical. When he made the dove disappear, he really went to another world. When he suspended the girl in the air, it was not a trick, but a real magical act, in which he temporarily cancelled gravity. And when the entire circus disappeared in an instant, it was also the result of an ancient magic spell that was passed down from the magician's family. But the magician's greatest secret was his immortality. He lived for centuries, and at the end of each circus he rejuvenated himself with his magic. He would conduct circuses in different parts of the world, and every time he would leave the audience with a new surprise. He always had that mysterious smile on his face, as if he knew the reality of the world was something else, but he was hiding it. The magician also had one last big secret, which made him go away from the audience every time. His magic was not limitless. Every time he used his magic, he lost a portion of his power. He knew that there would come a day when he would lose all his magical power and his eternal life would end. That's why he always went to a new place to conduct a circus, to keep his magic safe from public view. His biggest fear was that if the secret of his magic ever came out to the world, people would try to take advantage of his power. That's why he lived his life as a traveler, spreading magic everywhere, but always keeping his secrets hidden. But one night, after he had performed the last circus, he felt his magical powers waning. He knew the time was approaching when he would have to find a new heir, so that his magic would live on forever. And perhaps that night, one of the children in the circus audience was to become the next heir to his magic, passing that ancient magic on to a new generation. This was the wizard's secret, a magic that was centuries old and extremely powerful, but the wizard had always stayed out of sight to hide it. You want to make this mystery more complicated or interesting? When the magician left the circus for the last time, he knew that his magical powers were waning. But he also sensed that somewhere, his heir was in the making. He knew that his magic could not be gone forever, but that it would return in one form or another. It is said that the magician would leave a part of his power in the heart of a spectator in every circus. Whenever a child or young man began to dream inspired by his games and feats, a small part of the magician awakened within that person. Through these dreams, the sorcerer sought his heir, and when the heir was able to understand and accept the spell, the sorcerer returned to him. As time passes, the magician's heir is lost in the memories of the circus. He relives every circus scene he saw as a child, the flames, the girl hanging in the air, the magic dove. The heir also sees all this in a dream, and one day he realizes that the dream is not an ordinary dream, but a sign. Then comes a mysterious night, when the sky is overcast and the faint sound of a circus is heard in the air. The child, now a young man, is drawn to an old circus arena, as if by some invisible force, calling him. Arriving in the field, he sees a mysterious figure, the same wizard who disappeared years ago. But now the magician's face is not the same as people have seen before. He looks older and weaker than before, as if his powers are gone. The magician smiles at the young man and says, "My time is running out, but magic never ends. Now you have to manage this magic." With this, the wizard hands the young man his magic wand, and with that he slowly dissolves into the air, as if he had never been. But is the wizard really gone forever? The story of the wizard's return has always been shrouded in mystery. It is said that if his heir casts the right magic spell at the right time, the magician can be brought back to life. Because his magic is not stored with his body, but in the dreams of that wand and that heir. Therefore, the magician always has the possibility that he will return one day, in another form, to another city, to another circus. He may not be gone forever, but his magic will live on in the world in different forms. There will always be the possibility of the magician returning, because the magic is never completely gone. His heir will pass his magic on to a new generation, and the wizard himself may return someday, when the world needs magic again. The disappearance of the magician was a mysterious and surprising moment, which shocked the spectators and everyone in the circus. But the question is, where did the magician go? The magician's disappearance and his journey. When the magician performed his magic spells on the circus stage for the last time and disappeared in the blink of an eye, it was as if he had dissolved into thin air. But actually, the wizard's disappearance was part of his ancient magic. He disappeared from the eyes of the world and went to a place where only powerful and mysterious beings like him live. The wizard belonged to a magical world that is inaccessible to ordinary humans. It is a metaphysical world, where the laws of time and space are different. To go there, one has to be at a certain level, not only physically, but also spiritually. Here the magician is freed from the laws of time. He recovers his energy there and revives his strength. This place is a refuge for him, where he hides himself from the eyes of the world so that his powers can be preserved. The wizard's second floor is a mysterious and ancient library, where all the world's magical knowledge is collected. This library is also hidden for common people. There are ancient magical manuscripts, talismanic books, and powerful spells that can only be understood by those versed in the secrets of magic. Magicians come here to learn new spells, refine their old powers, and study mysteries not yet revealed to the world. Will the magician come again? This disappearance of the magician was not forever. He has two options. He can return with his powers restored when the world needs him. Or he will prepare his heir and say goodbye to the world forever, so that a new wizard can take his place. But there may come a time in a wizard's magical world when he must return. Because his magic never ends, he is an eternal force that will always be there. If there is a great crisis in the world, or people feel the need for magic, the magician will return from his metaphysical world. The wizard disappears into a magical world where he can regain his power and gain more knowledge. He is spending time in a parallel universe or dream world, where he is away from the world and preparing himself. But his disappearance doesn't mean he's gone forever. He can come back when the world needs his magic again. The process of choosing a magician's heir is a very complicated and mysterious process, because it does not depend only on one's talents or abilities, but also on one's inner spiritual strength, thoughts, and the depth of one's dreams. There can be several steps in choosing an heir for a mage, and this is done according to magical rules and ancient traditions. How will the heir be chosen? Clues through dreams. The first hint of the sorcerer's heir appears in his dreams. During his magical journey, the magician enters people's dreams and studies their thoughts. A magician appears in a dream as a symbol for a person who has creativity, exploration, and a desire to understand wonders. In dreams, the magical scenes of the circus come alive again. The person sees himself performing magic tricks. Mysterious signs or signs appear in a dream, indicating that he is the heir. These dreams are not mere illusions, but are hints given by the magician. The heir will be the one within whom the magic itself is awakening. This awareness is not external but internal, as strange events begin to occur around the person, such as objects moving automatically, influencing the elements of nature, or influencing people's emotions. The person himself starts to become a part of this magic, without knowing how it is all happening. This inner magic is proof that the person has the same abilities as the magician. The heir himself does not know that he has magical powers, but the wizard realizes it as he approaches him. Magical dreams or inner abilities alone are not enough to become an heir. He also has to face certain kinds of trials, which are arranged by the magician. These trials are not only based on physical challenges, but also spiritual and mental trials. The heir must prove his quest, courage, and loyalty. He has to show that he can shoulder the responsibility of keeping magic from falling into the wrong hands. These trials are not visible to the common man. These occur in the hidden world or in the dream state, where the heir faces his own fears, doubts, and weaknesses. Purity of heart and intention. The most important attribute of a sorcerer's heir is his purity of intention. The magician knows that magic is a great power, and can lead to disaster if left in the wrong hands. So the magician will choose the person who don't be power hungry, but have a desire to make a positive difference in the world. Want to use magic not for yourself, but to help others. This is the magician's most important test, as he has to test the sincerity of the person's intentions. The magician observes the person's actions and decisions in an invisible way, and sees whether he is really capable of handling such a great responsibility or not. Last meeting. When the sorcerer has chosen that person as the heir, he makes one last visit. This meeting is also a magical moment. The magician invites the person to a secret place and shares his knowledge and experience with him. He entrusts him with the magical spells, books, and tools she needs to master the secrets of the magical world. The encounter often takes place in a dream state or in an ancient and magical location, such as a circus arena or an ancient library. Handing down a magic wand to an heir. Finally, the wizard passes his magic wand to his heir. This wand is not only a symbol of the magician's power, but also the center of his entire knowledge and experience. When the heir holds this wand, the magic within him is fully awakened. He begins to understand the realities of the world and the secrets of the magical world like a magician. This act is a sign of the wizard acknowledging his heir and bringing a new wizard into the world. A mage's heir is a special and unique person, chosen not on the basis of talent alone, but on spiritual purity, sincerity of intent, and ability to use magic for the right purpose. This choice begins through dreams, then through the awakening of the inner magic, the trials, and finally the encounter with the wizard.